On this special episode of Decoration Myths, we're going to show you the latest in apparel trends and some cool decorations to go along with them. Welcome to another episode of Decoration Myths. I'm Stephen Bear from S&S Activewear.
And I'm Josh Ellsworth with STAHLS.
Welcome, everybody. So, Josh, what we have in store today is we wanted to look at apparel trends. So more kind of like on themes and looks. And so we put some stuff together for you. And I know we had a little time before this to review. So where do you want to start?
Yeah, so I think starting kind of in the workwear category or that workwear styling is a great place to start.
Yeah, it's real big. Yeah.
And when I think of workwear, not only do I think of like sometimes rugged, but more of just the coloring and the style and how that can translate into everyday fashion.
For sure.
And so I love this particular piece, and we're going to create a coordinating set, aren't we?
This is a great piece, and this is, we are. Yeah, and then Dry Duck. Dry Duck is a great brand. One of their monikers is Rugged Essentials, but they specialize in workwear, but also a category that they focus on is on-site and off-site. So picture a contractor going on-site, but then they want to go off-site. Maybe they have to deal with some financials and things like that. So we're going to focus on a couple pieces. This one is more on-site. This is their Carpenter's cap. Key feature here, the Carpenter pencil slots. So
Nice.
yeah, so Dry Duck thinks about all the little things and actually goes on site and kind of figures out what are the needs out there. So I will hand this over to you. What are we going to do with it?
Yeah, so structured cap. We're going to need the 360 IQ machine to do decoration on this. We've prepared a leather patch, so let's come in close and take a look at that. So let me get the hat onto the machine first. So if I were printing a front location, really quick, really simple to load, lock it down into place, heating from both the top and the bottom to get the application. And then we've just taken a company brand name. This is a genuine leather patch. So it has the thickness, it has the dimension. It's just a small branding detail. And so you would see a common placement application of right here.
Oh, nice.
But we're going to do a little bit something different on this whole set that we're doing for Outdoor Logic as a company. And I'm going to rotate this around 360 degrees, and we'll undo the strap. That's actually a pretty cool feature. I didn't notice that. It covers.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a snapback, but they clean it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Dry Duck's all about the details. And so,
so
there you're seeing it.
Yeah, so we are going to do this location, and we're going to go directly over the back seam. So again, I'm going to look for the center of this, and I'm kind of folding it against itself, just getting a slight bend at the center of that logo so it can kind of conform to the cap.
I love all these little tricks because that
looks sharp. You like that location?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the stitching is no worries on that.
No, right over the seam, right over the stitching. The only thing I'm doing, notice I'm not locking down the hold down device on this side of the cap because everything lays flush. If I were to use that hold down device, I might damage that fused buckram on the front of the cap. And so I'm just going to lock it down without the hold down device. Now, when I'm heating from top and bottom, per usual, 30-second dwell time. And so if you're running production, one operator can easily run two machines.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so by adding that other machine, I mean, you're just getting a rotation going.
You are, and you don't even have to be there. So let's start talking about what we're going to create.
Yeah, so this is brand new from Columbia Sportswear, and this is the shirt jacket. So this comes in two colors. Obviously, we picked the color that matches the Carpenter hat, but this is really a unisex piece. So ladies are dressing this up, wearing this, open-ended with something underneath. And then guys wear it exactly the same way. I mean, it's a shirt jacket.
Yeah.
And so
shacket.
Shacket. That's it. You got it.
And again, we're going to go with the same theme. So this item has completed as we turn.
Nice.
It opened up. It can just rest there until we're ready to kind of meet it and finish it off. Take a look at that here in a moment as our completed set. And let's load this item on. Now, before I load this item on, I'm going to go with a back yoke placement here. And so I'm just going to lay my product out to the side because once I start trying to maneuver this onto the press, it's tough to make sure your logo's straight. And I've been known to place some things crooked, so I'd rather just place it here, grab some of this thermo tape, just using a big X pattern. Let's go ahead and tape that into place. Make sure it's not going to move. And while I'm loading this, and I think I'm going to have to unbutton it here, is I'm using not the genuine leather on this one. I'm using a faux leather. And so it's actually a synthetic leather material. And a couple things. Number one, if your client is worried about something being vegan, this is a great alternative to the genuine leather. But the reason I chose this for the particular shirt jacket is because this is most likely going to be an item that's going to get laundered. And you really don't want to launder genuine leather. So genuine leather, perfect, looks great for caps. But once we start to go on to wearables that are going to be laundering, using the faux leather and just kind of coordinating the colors and the look and the style, going to do it very well.
Yeah, it won't get wet and then dry out and crack and things like that. But this turned out great.
Yeah, and so you can absolutely press this with just top heat. I'm a little worried about the heat sensitivity of this fabric. And so I thought we already have the top and bottom heat hooked up. Let's go ahead and just press this on this machine because we can do patches and wearables all day on this.
Yeah.
Now, eventually it'll open up. I got to look at my dwell time here. It's supposed to be 30 seconds. Hopefully it was set correctly. May have been a little longer. Automatically opens. Now I'm just going to remove this from the press, lay it flat. Again, so the adhesive sets up in the flat position. It's not staying in that curved position. And then after that, I'm just going to grab the thermotape once it cools down to the touch.
And you're putting pressure on that after the heat has been applied so it doesn't kind of naturally buckle up?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And so now when it's completed, you have this completely flat look rather than something that's curved and buckled.
And it's nothing that you have to build something to put on top of it. Just put your hand pressure on there.
Hand pressure's fine. Great. Takes a few seconds. I do know people that have used like a heavy book or a dictionary or something, drop it on.
Yeah.
But use your creativity.
Well, yeah, so this is great. So there it is. So there's your workwear look.
Yeah, so I like it. We both like it.
Yeah,
so
we both like it.
Lots of trends. So let's keep moving, and I think we're going to move into like a loungewear look next. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is great loungewear. So looking at let's say the collegiate crowd, right? It's all about kicking it, and this is a great pigment-dyed short that we got from Independent. So that's always a question, right? Like pigment-dyed, how does it take heat? And but it's about cool logos, right? And I think you put together something neat. Just the funkier it is, the more more likely it's going to be worn. And I thought this is just a great lounge piece.
Yeah, and so we've picked our Flex Style Transfer, which is another type of patch. Some people call it liquid embroidery for a way everybody can understand it. And it's a golf ball design, but with a little emoji and a little bit of flair and style to it. So just something fun.
Got a little attitude.
Yeah. And you might think of this for a clothing line or just for that sort of statement piece. I'm going to load the short on, and I should be fine to line everything up straight on this. I'm not worried about that seam being up there because this pad's kind of flexible, so it's going to sink down in.
That's great.
Just like the center seam of a cap sinks down in.
But in this case, the seam is actually helping where you can position it since you've already put it on the 360 IQ.
You got that right. Yeah. So I'm maintaining my visibility to the kind of this corner here. And so I know that when I position my piece, I want it to be positioned, in parallel to those. And I'll just slide a little bit forward now, slide this front seam off, make sure I'm in the pressure area.
Working on this machine a lot, it's always amazing because you're getting that bottom heat that it helps the placement because it's already gravitated to the adhesive, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's holding it. And I didn't need a preheat on that because it's warming, even though there's a lot of cotton in this short.
Yeah.
It's removing the moisture just by the bottom heat being at 320 degrees alone. So
taking care of business.
If you've been watching Decoration Myths and you don't own the Hotronix 360 IQ, or your decorator doesn't own the Hotronix 360 IQ, I'm just going to ask you, what are you waiting for?
Exactly.
Right? So
this thing's amazing. I mean, we're doing hats, shorts, jackets.
Same concept.
Boom.
Doing it all. Remove it. Let's get it off the heat. Let's get it onto a flat location. Apply a little bit of hand pressure just till the adhesive cools down a little bit. And then we have our
that is great
completed result. Really cool.
That
really
is
nice.
Very cool. That's a lounge short.
That's lounge. I'll lounge. What do you think? No.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah. And so this is a challenge.
So so this is so here we're focused more on like the varsity looks that are out there. This in particular, we're going to kind of look at like the sororities are really going retro with this, and it's kind of, you know, it's that varsity look, and this we picked to always challenge you, Josh, right? When you take this out of the box, it's mighty shiny, and when I think mighty shiny and heat, maybe not a mix.
Yeah, and I'm just looking for the tag here, and so always check the construction of the garment. So the lining is 100% polyester, but the shell is 100% nylon. And so when we're thinking about decorating nylon, we need to seek out a heat transfer that is compatible with a nylon adhesive. Now, most heat transfers stick to cotton and poly, no problem. But as soon as you start looking at nylon, we need to kind of go to this special grouping of heat transfers, especially when it's a product that's probably going to be laundered. Okay. And so let's get this loaded up onto the heat press. And when we're loading, we're actually going to use the swing away functionality of the press, so I don't have to move the whole bulk of the jacket after it's loaded. So I've already loaded the 11x15 attachment on. Just going to drape this on, and I chose that 11x15 because this sort of seam structure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
I can pull it right off of the corners there, right? Making sure my item is straight. And then let's go ahead and just do a little bit of a preheat to get some of these wrinkles out of this piece.
So we can actually see the seam.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty shiny. So we'll do preheat. I'm also locking in my pressure for my medium pressure there. Got a nice flat printing area. Nice. And the heat transfer that I've chosen is a silicone heat transfer. And I love silicone because it has that rubbery texture to it, but also because we have success applying to sublimated polyesters when we need it, but here, success applying to nylon. So it's a great versatile solution for you. So let's position that into place. Locked and loaded here. I'm going to place it a little further down, just as a placement tip. Anytime you're decorating apparel on the back of a product where there's a hood, yes, but also where the wearer may have longer hair, it's best to put your placement on your back print down a little further.
Great thought.
So position that down. I'm at my recommended time, temperature, and pressure. We're going to press the back. Now, there's something we can't avoid as we're ironing this jacket. And so we're going to have a nice, clean rectangle on the back of the jacket while the rest of the jacket is a little bit wrinkled to the touch. But as it's worn, as it's stored, it'll look much different. We're not damaging, we're not scorching the fabric. We just simply have an area that's wrinkled at the bottom and it's not wrinkled in the areas that we pressed it.
You did your job.
Right. Yeah. And so this needs to cool down before we peel it. So as we're waiting on it to cool down, let's go ahead and work on the front of the piece.
Oh, nice.
And for that, I'm going to swap out here and we'll remove the 11x15, a little bit warm.
Yeah.
And we're going to load in the 6x10. And so on the 6x10, just rotate this. Buttons falling off the edge here because I don't want those snaps up on the platen. Position down well. Same exact process. Preheat.
Preheat.
Make sure our pressure is correct. And so when people ask about why decoration shops are adopting and moving to heat transfer, I think it's the simplicity of it.
Sure.
Like you can train somebody on how to load correctly, how to position correctly, how to press correctly, and it's fairly simple to train. There's not many steps in the process, and so that's really attractive to a lot of decorators that are having trouble right now, in all honesty, finding skilled labor.
Point.
So easy to train, easy to hire for, and easy to put somebody on a heat press who can decorate high-end items like this.
Nice. So, and then on that note, when you like mentioned, hey, we need this to cool down, those instructions come along, like, should you have other nylon items? And you said, hey, I remember watching this episode and I need silicone. Those directions come with the transfers.
Yeah, so in heat transfers, you have three options: hot peel, cold peel, or warm peel. Of course, we all love hot peel products, but some challenging fabrics, there's just not a hot peel product that works. And so to get the heat transfer and the chemistry down, if it says cold peel, it comes on the instructions. Make sure you let it cool completely down. Then you can peel the backing.
Nice.
Okay. So this one should be completely cool, at least on the back. So let's load that on top here. And then we're just going to grab the corner and we are going to remove the backing.
And again, anytime removing something when it says cold peel, you don't want to, rip the Band-Aid off type of deal. But
no, you like to watch it, right? Because
Yeah.
if that edge is lifting up at all, then we can still save it. Unfortunately, we've lost the time while we were waiting for it to cool, but we could still save it if it starts to lift.
Wow.
So nice and clean. And then this side, still a little bit warm, so you want to be patient. But once it's cool, grab the corner, remove it.
Wow.
And we have a completed jacket. Okay?
That is very cool.
Sometimes you get a little indent on products from the carrier. I see just a really faint indent on this. Nothing that I don't think makes it not sellable. If you were very particular about this going out the door before it gets all wrinkled and worn, you could throw these locations back on a heat press, hit them with a cover sheet for about 5 seconds to kind of blend that a little better. But
just irons it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. This turned out fabulous.
And I think we're going to move to a set next, right?
Yeah, so matching sets is a big, we've gotten a lot of inquiries on what matches, right? Because these are going into programs. So here we focused on Boxercraft's new additions. This is the Luna legging. Oh. And then they built a sports bra to match. So people could add this into their fitness type area of their company store, perhaps. So we wanted to kind of focus on that. And then also a big request is reflective components, right? Because everybody is out and about, especially after 2020. People are active and want to get outside, but to have that little bit of protection of kind of some high vis. So it'd be great to see some reflective on this.
Yeah, and we've chosen not only just a reflective, but a 3M Scotchlite reflective, which meets ANSI certifications for roadside work crews. So it's going to provide plenty of visibility on this fitness set. And so you'll see I've already preloaded the sports bra on the pillow. All I did was slide a pillow inside. That's to get rid of any seams that may be coming through, as well as have any seam structure here sink down in. So I'm going to load that 11 by 15 attachment again. All right. And then this can go directly on top of that. I'm getting that full pressure in that full print area. I'm actually going to position it where this seam, just to make sure it doesn't scorch up, falls off of the edge as well.
Okay.
And then let's go ahead and do a preheat and check my pressure. There we go. I'm going to get a little bit more pressure on that. And then while that's applying pressure, I'm going to get this piece ready. And again, every material comes with its, you can see the steam coming out of that. There must be a little cotton in it. Position the design. We did a really oversized reflective design to fit that very nicely. So I'm just feeling, making sure I'm getting pressure throughout.
That's
and
cool.
then this is going to take about a 15-second application. And while it's locked down, I dropped my other component underneath the table. So I'm going to slide under and grab that. That's the transfer that's going to go down to the leggings.
Nice.
Look at that.
Wow.
Really nice. Hot peel.
That is great.
If you, again, I love to give production tips. So if you're running production, have several of these pillows and pre-stage your products. You can stack them all up, and then you can have somebody staging so the heat press operator can keep running those. So
it is highly reflective.
Yeah, really nice look.
Very
nice. All right, let's load the...
Let's do the matching pants.
And for this, I'm going to use another pillow and give you another tip. So this is a sleeve and leg pillow. Certainly could use the 6 by 20 inch sleeve and leg platen. But why I love the pillow for this application is because these have some really nice style to it, but style that creates complications. So there's this kind of mesh
pocket,
sort of pocket on the outside, which is great for holding a device or something like that. But it's also presents a challenge, right?
Okay.
And so taking this pillow, and here's the right technique, hold the pillow like this, and then you're going to slide it with your arm supporting it all the way down through the pant leg, okay? And so that's a nice way so you're not fumbling with it, get it in there quick and easy.
Cool.
And now I'm ready to lay that pillow completely loaded onto my print area, okay? And so you notice the trend of printing like down towards the calf
Yes.
part of the location.
Yeah.
I can make a choice. Yes, heat transfer material can go directly over the seam.
Sure.
I don't think it's necessary in this case. So what I'm going to do is, didn't account for the seam. I'm going to just do a quick little reset here. And I'm going to slide the pillow a little bit more to the front side of the pant. Okay. And that way the seam, when we look up close here, the seam now is closer to the edge. It gives me plenty of real estate to be able to position this design along the seam and press it. Got a little debris on my transfer since I dropped it on the ground, so let's clean it up here. Position it down to that lower calf part of the design. I'll go ahead and cover that.
Looks great.
Make sure I'm on my full dwell time. Let's go ahead and lock it down for the full application.
That's very cool. So, you know, I just saw like handling the transfer. I know you don't ever want to overhandle something, but like accidentally touching your fingers on the sticky part, that's not a problem, right? Because you're hitting it with heat and that's not.
Yeah, not a problem. Honestly, the most common thing we see is like somehow a hair will get stuck to the sticky part and then go just slightly down under the edge of the design as well. And after you press it, you got to kind of break that off and peel it off. But you know, overall, you don't have to be too cautious.
Sure.
As long as you don't touch the sticky part against itself.
Wow.
Tell me that doesn't look sharp.
Oh, that's great.
Pretty phenomenal with being able to hit that stylish print location.
And these are matching 3M reflective.
Yeah.
So this is just great.
Yeah, so Infinity Fitness, we have a complete coordinated set that matches the brand, has plenty of stretch, the retro reflectivity. Somebody's going to feel really fashionable heading to a workout in these.
Wow. So, I mean, that's it.
Almost. One bonus tip.
Oh, see?
Because I looked back to lay this down and I noticed something and it must be said.
Yes.
Look at this carrier. You see that carrier?
Yeah.
Has a little bit of a charcoal finish to it. It started as clear. Okay, so what that tells me, has a little bit of a charcoal finish to it, started as clear. That tells me I'm getting a little bit of dye migration coming from the leggings that we just decorated.
Okay.
So I want to be careful just putting a normal transfer on those leggings, okay? Because if you put white on it and it's a really thin transfer without a dye inhibitor, like the silicone we used earlier, it may bleed. And so the silicone would be a perfect option for those leggings. And reflective naturally blocks dye migration. So the silver reflective is great for any brand logo. Will work all day on those leggings. Something to watch out for.
Always a solution, this guy.
Yeah, we always have something.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, I mean, well, thank you for the time on these apparel trends because they're all red hot. And thank you guys for watching. And all the links to all the great products that Josh conquered, once again, are in the links below. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks for watching.